Carried. Moving on. Old special business, there is none. Next item, new special business, consideration of motion served with due notice, stricken from the agenda, so there's nothing here. So the only thing left to do is to adjourn. Jack, you want to say something? Can you unmute Jack, please?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, obviously, like what has been listed, what has been stricken from the agenda, I'm guessing does need to be discussed at some point. So is
Not in this meeting, it doesn't.
No, I know, not at this meeting, John, I'm aware of that.
Yep.
But so I'm curious, and I know like it's been what, an hour and a half for the executive or management at URSU to have an idea of like what that could possibly look like. But I'm wondering if like what people anticipate that, like, is it like an SGM in a few months to talk specifically about that? Is it a consultation process with students who have made it clear at this meeting that like they want more say in that? Does anybody have any ideas, I guess, over the past hour and a half about what would be the next steps? Carl, maybe. I'm so sorry that this happened, but I'm curious.
Other than it will definitely be on the next board meeting agenda to discuss next steps, which is on Tuesday. But yeah, I definitely foresee an SGM coming. I'd like to hear from Florence as to perhaps what she sees as required. You know, do we need briefing documents behind the motion, or what's been proposed, or
I guess
what additional information is the membership looking for?
And definitely, I think hearing from Florence would be helpful. I just know, like, even for me, when I saw that on the agenda, and I was looking through the proposed constitution, there were a number of points. So I was like, man, if you were to consult with me on this, I would have given you so many different ideas about how to go about that. And I wonder if it's maybe about consulting with students, asking them to, like, you know, what are the problems that they see in the existing constitution, and what are the problems that need to be solved, and then, you know, maybe like, I don't know, having the URSU directors be consulting with students on like I don't know, but I think that there's a better way than just like having URSU draft something without any type of back and forth with students.
Okay, all of this is discussion that should have happened if we were going to discuss the motion itself. I will note, to your point, Nathan has his hand up, so I'd like to give him the opportunity to speak. I will note to your point, Jack, that clearly students, you know, made their voice heard or whatever. I don't actually see that as the case. I think the majority of the vote was to abstain, and the motion was simply to remove something from the record, and the case made against it that proper notice wasn't given, which I view as patently ridiculous. But Nathan, you had your hand raised. Please unmute and speak.
Perfect. And someone let me know if I'm cutting out here.
Right after you said, let me know if I'm cutting out, you cut out. So that's a good start.
Okay, perfect. How about now?
We got you.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I'm maybe driving to Calgary as this happens. So all I wanted to say is I think it's a great initiative that needs to happen. I think perhaps where some of this vote down came from is there wasn't really much opportunity for the people voting to decide what was going on, and it's a shame. But I was going to speak to the motion anyways and say I feel like a major overall change of our main operating document should be held during referendum over a general election. Is that still something the URSU does? Is have major votes like this during referendum as an option during general election voting?
Referendum is always an option, but it basically would be, I see it as no different than moving it and adopting it at a special general meeting.
Okay, definitely a case to be made for that. In the past, I've seen better turnout on decisions from referendum just because You have candidates actively pushing people to vote, and it can be used as a platform rather than at AGM, where we currently sit at 154 people. But that being said, once again, I'm in favor of the hard work that went into this document. I think it's awesome, but I wouldn't want it to come up as.
Well, again, the only thing I will recommend to the board is that now that we have a platform called Universe, that perhaps they look at using that platform as some kind of consultation process before another special general meeting be held.
Carl, you'd mentioned you wanted to hear from Florence. Florence, would you like to add something? Would you be able to unmute her, please, Neil?
Yes, I've worked on constitutions and whatnot before, and they're just, you need time to look at them and figure out what the implications are. And these are major implications. And I think that the membership needs to know more about it before they decide to completely change the administration of the student union. And it's just more transparency, more time to think about this major change. What are the pros and cons than what you would get at just a meeting like this. And it takes a long time. I haven't even had time to go through all the various things to figure out if there is going to be probably glitches in the future. And I want my student union to run smoothly. And we've had enough problems in the past that we want to make the running smooth. And we want to know what's happening and not people come back. You know, when we all get together and find out there's no president anymore and what happened. Like, I think at this time, and like not everybody's on social media. Yeah, the newspapers as well, but I really appreciate the work that's been done to get a new platform so you can email us, can keep us up to date. And more time and more information about the changes and all of that before it comes to vote so that we can make an informed decision would be appreciated.
I appreciate that. Fair enough. Absolutely. You know, what's been presented here has probably been 2 years in the works by various directors and executive, and yeah, we will take that into consideration, and the board will discuss it at next week's meeting as to next steps.
All right. Is there anything else that anyone wanted to add? All right, then a motion to adjourn.
Jack, seconded by Scusi.
Adjourned.
Before I end the meeting, just so everyone knows, this meeting was recorded and we will be sharing it on social media and on our website, probably end of this week, beginning of next week. So if anyone wants to share it with their friends or review how the conversation went, possibly to prepare for the next special general meeting, that will be made available, as will a transcript of the chat. So thanks everyone for your cooperation. I know it was challenging at points, but we got through it.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.